Now we've got everybody we need, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Um, so just, as, kind of opening remarks here, obviously it's a new person sitting in the chair. Be gentle with me. I wasn't expecting it, but certainly, happy to fill in until we have our elections. Do want to welcome back. And to the group, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody?
So my name is Mac Alexander. I think it says William on it, which is my given name, but I go by Mac. Just very briefly, I used to work for the FAA. You guys probably gleaned some of that from some of the comments I made with the other meetings that I've attended. Started out as an air traffic controller, moved my way up through management, retired as a member of the senior executive service, working up in headquarters. I spent 36 years with the FAA. And after that, I worked for a company, did some consulting for about 4 years, and I'm fully retired now and loving it. Actually grew up in Georgia, went to school here at the University of Georgia. My wife and I met here, and when we retired, we said, this is a great place to live, so we moved back here, and it's just a very short, but one of the reasons I applied to be on the airport authority was, with my experience, I thought I could be of assistance and help. And I'm actually gonna go meet with, the FAA folks in College Park next week, just to get a briefing on the new tower project and everything, and ask questions. And my whole approach is really gonna be, what can we do to help? You know, can we do anything to make it go smoother? And are there any issues, or do you have any concerns? But I've got some specific questions I want to ask about kind of where we are on the waterfall, because I'm sure they're doing multiple projects at the same time. But anyway, just want to help.
All right, yeah. Well, we want to take a second to let everybody else introduce themselves to you. I don't know if you have a chance to meet everybody. Want to go ahead and start?
I'm Craig Westwood. I'm a tenant on the field. Been living in Winterville since 2017, and just like to help out where I can.
Keith Sanders, we've met, lifetime Athens resident, and retired about 5 years ago when I was 59 from Baker and Taylor Books in Commerce, Georgia, which is a national book distribution company. I worked there for 30-some years in operations side, mostly in finance.
And I'm Jeff Benjamin. I've been here in Athens about 2.5 years, a little over 2.5 years. Retired from the military about 10 years ago and kind of served a couple different jobs around the world and in the States. And now I'm the Associate Vice President for Facilities at UGA.
Oh, so. Yeah. What branch did you serve in?
Navy.
So, yeah.
And I'm Diane Napier, with a strange accent. I'm native of South Africa, but I've been here a long time. Yes, retired professor from the University of Georgia, and my work has always been in international development and education. So I've been chair 2 terms, I guess, and Keith and I have done the rounds of vice chair and committees and everything else. So
You're also our local neighborhood.
oh yeah. I guess I'm supposed to be retired, but not really. I'm on, as you know, give occasional updates from the Lexington corridor group. I've been with that group actually when it was a steering committee from 2017 onwards. There was a corridor study that was done, and then there have been these development issues. So I always keep you guys, informed and updated on that. And I spend a great deal of my time at home, but also heading back to Africa, where I have growing obligations.
Yeah.
10 growing obligations.
It's like a 15.5-hour flight, I think.
It's actually a 24-hour trip, door to door, because it's 2 flights to Kilimanjaro to Nairobi. Yeah.
So, built that nonstop from Atlanta to Johannesburg.
Well, yeah, but Johannesburg's a different region. When we go to East Africa.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The trip.
It's a huge continent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, development issues are interesting. I just, as an aside, all of the work that I ever did, I just found it very interesting that here at the local level, we're dealing with many of the same issues. You know that too.
Yeah.
Jeff.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
know, with elected officials, stakeholders, local,
Yeah.
squabbles, etc.
Yeah,
So-
exactly.
Makes it
No
fun.
project is straightforward. Okay, well, great. Well, welcome.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
thank you everybody for introducing yourselves. Next up, do review the minutes from last meeting. And then get those approved if there are no amendments or changes that we need to make.
There's one change or addition that I suggested to Devon, which is highlighted in yellow. No criticism of Devon and his valiant efforts, but he, we had quite a long conversation last time about those visits by all the school kids. And I felt that, we really needed to just hit the point harder that, we had talked about a newspaper article or making sure it gets in, online, et cetera. So don't just leave one statement in the minutes that's sort of too vague for anybody to understand what was really said. And I think we do need to actually pick up on that and not let it drop,
Yeah, that's good.
So that was just an addition. I'm only mentioning it because Devon had to step out for a minute.
I think he's on. You're on, right, Devin?
I am. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
We can.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. And those are the minutes that I sent out yesterday. So I think we can approve those that were sent.
There's no other changes. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
All right, take a vote. All those in favor?
Okay.
All right, any opposed? All right, minutes are approved. Thank you. Then we'll move on to the airport manager reports.
Right, thank you. So let's look at our financials. Is that something you can pull up, Devin, from there?
Yeah.
Always pulling that. There it goes. There you go. And then make it a little bigger. You can make it bigger.
That any better?
All right. So first of all, this June 2024 was the end of our fiscal year. We ended with 955,000, which in my opinion was really, really good year. We had our airport fees were down due to the charter activity being down as well. June, July timeframe. Usually we don't have a whole lot going on with charters, so that's down. As far as the expenses, everything is in line. The airport services was up from our budget, mostly because of overtime in preparation for the FAA inspection. So we, as I reported last month, we did real well on the inspection, and we had all hands on deck, all the operations folks, everybody, and they did a great job in making sure that all of our runways and our taxiways and our signs and FAA looks at everything, even the lips of the asphalt versus the ground. It can't be more than 3 inches, so we have to place more dirt in. And we do that year round. We just don't wait for the FAA inspection to do it, but we do it year round. But we just spend a lot of time making sure that all that is correct. With all of the signs and lights and everything we have, the fencing, that has to be in good order as well, our perimeter fencing, and even the good and the bad. So the trucks, the fuel farm, everything. We spend a lot of time, and we make sure that we include all of our employees in that process to make sure we have a good outcome. We did, and they did a very good job. So what we did, we had a nice dinner for them, and barbecue dinner. I don't think it was barbecue, but we had a good dinner for them. So with that end, I will say that in the end, our fiscal year, we budgeted 138,000 in avgas gallons for the year. We reached 87, almost 88,000. So we were under budget with that. Reason being, I think, and maybe Craig can talk to this too. I still think, that general aviation, number one, fuel was high, and they're not flying as much. And number two, I still think, the general aviation hasn't quite come back to where it was prior to the pandemic. What are your thoughts on that?
It seems like, people are flying less. I think there are a lot of things that could help us out next year to make those numbers, between the self-serve.
Yep.
And the taxiway being done.
That's a big thing.
I know just talking to corporate people and other flyers is just having to deal with the back taxi.
Yep.
Especially when the flight school comes over and the pattern gets busy, and then you're having the back taxi and you have longer holds or longer waiting at the run-up area, so.
Yeah, no, Craig's right.
I think that's probably contributed, it probably considerable amount.
Yeah, no, I would have to agree with that. That back taxi is something that's not ideal, when you want to operate an airport. Thank goodness we have a good tower, that really handles the traffic well, but I'm so ready for that back taxi to be over. But yeah, that's a big one. And I did report, also to Nikki when I had my meeting with him, that the self-serve is going to help us rather, I think, when we have a good discounted price. So the combination of that, the self-serve, when we get this thing done and the word gets out that there's no more back taxi, I think it's really going to increase a good bit. And I have a good self-serve price set up for the self-serve. So that should really help. The Jet A, we budgeted 575,000. We reached 525,000 in gallons for Jet A. And our operations, we budgeted 42,000 operations. For the year, we hit 37, almost 38,000. So, we didn't hit our budget, but we still did very well, with our overall raw, revenue versus expense.
Like you said, just about the budget for the new year, which starts with this next month, that's already pretty much set now. And
Yeah,
I know you talked about whether to flat line everything equally per month, which is why we see in the summertime, we're below the.
Right.
And sometimes above, because it kind of just divided by 12. Are you doing any adjustments? So this year kind of continue with
this
that?
year continuing, but next year for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because Devin and I looked at that, or I did anyway. I don't think we talked about it, but Devin and I looked at that, and we feel comfortable that next year, I think we can have a pretty good number as far as month to month, where we stand. Things are going to change a little bit in the avgas side because of, like Craig has said, the back taxi will be gone and people will be coming more. And then the self-serve will hopefully increase, once we advertise that on FlightAware and all the other, websites. So that part might be a little different. That might be hard to gauge, but the others we feel good about.
The next year, not this fall, but next fall of next year, it's going to be the greatest home scene.
It will.
So
All I can do is the best.
I was gonna say, we better be right, but not this fall, but the fall after, we better be right. 'Cause,
Yeah.
There's some teams coming here.
It's coming from Texas.
Yeah.
Man,
that's right.
I don't think
here, Texas here.
I don't know if y'all have been to Texas, but man, there's a lot of money to support those.
Really? Yeah. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if we're ground stopped 3 days before that.
Like Augusta and Masters.
Yeah, they have so much money, it's ridiculous.
They
I'm
have more
looking
now,
forward
aren't they?
to this, guys.
SpaceX and all of that is being
They are-
moved to Texas.
Yeah, well, yeah,
In the SEC.
yeah, out there,
That's huge money.
the big Texas schools, Texas A&M
Yeah.
have what they call the PUF fund. It's Petroleum Utilization Fund, and it's like they get revenue off of petroleum on their land grant institutions, and they lease out their land, pump oil, and get revenue for that. So,
Really?
oh yeah, it's
I didn't know that.
yeah, it's pretty lucrative fund that they've got for their universities. So yeah, they're not hurting, and yeah, they got some boosters. I'll tell you.
So they can pay up to Jimbo Fisher.
Yeah, I was gonna say they didn't even bat an eye when they gave him $80 million to leave, right? I mean, good lord, good lord.
That's just wild.
Yeah, so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what it's gonna be like when they come.
Oh, it will be. And we'll have all those projects done. Hopefully we'll have Bravo done too, but they won't be using a whole lot of Bravo. But anyway.
Parking planes on.
Yes,
Well, that might be, but That might be a good one,
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Planes everywhere.
Yeah. Speaking of Bravo, our capital improvement projects, we have, I'll start with Alpha. We've started paving today, actually, and, they're doing, the first, they do several passes with, I think it's about, 50 feet. Do several passes and, the lifts, they call it a lift, but they're gonna have 3 lifts. Each lift is 2 inches, so they'll have 6 inches total. And so they're doing the first lift right now from Alpha 2, because from Alpha 1 to Alpha 2 is done, except for the final second lift, or last lift, I should say. But, so from Alpha 2 all the way down, they're doing, first lift. And then they'll continue on with, up to 6. The, electrical is going in as well. They're trenching to the sides where they're paving. They're able to work on that without any problems. Starting next week, they're gonna get closer to the runway in the paving. And so that's in the safety area. And, so we'll have to close down the runway. I think we have it scheduled pretty much all week. I think Monday through Friday. Yeah, get ready for that.
I'm smiling, yeah.
And, so usually their record is that they'll open it up a little sooner, maybe it'll be Thursday, we'll see. But 220 would be open. They really try to send them this way, if the winds are calm, to send them to the north instead of going south, over Cedar Creek. The tower really tries to help out best they can. But anyway, I think last week we had a couple days where we shut it down as well. But there was an issue with the mix. They were supposed to pave some last week, but there was some question or confusion, I guess, on the mix, the FA mix that's being used and how to mix it and what types of mix they should use. And so that had to be ironed out. So they got a lot of things done, even though it was closed. They got a lot of stuff done in the areas that they needed to get done. And then we opened it up early last week, and then so Monday will be when they get to that point. So gosh, it's coming along great. I haven't seen the paving yet. I've been so busy in the office, but before I head, out today, I might go out there and look at it. I do have, every Wednesday we have a construction meeting in here. And, it's GDOT and RSNH and the contractor, and we have an on-site inspector, that's subcontracted with our consultant. And anyway, so the FA is going to be here tomorrow too, the ADO, which is the airport district office, which is basically engineers, and things like that. They want to, since, this is FA money, they want to come look at it and make sure the paving's going well, which they're all good folks. Most everybody at the FA is good. But anyway, so that's going on this week with Alpha. Taxiway Bravo. The mayor commission approved the work authorization for RSNH to do the design on both, Bravo and the parking lot. GDOT wants to fund the Bravo project first. And so we are moving faster on that project. They've done the survey or doing the survey for both right now. They were out here 2 weeks ago doing survey work. And I've got a meeting it's next week with RSNH and GDOT. We're going to talk about the Bravo project and the design moving forward and electrical, things like that. So we'll talk about that at the next meeting. And self-serve, we should have had that online already, probably 2 weeks ago, but L&T, who installed it, did a great job. But when we filled the tank up, there was a little leak coming out when you put fuel into the tank at the top. And so it's an O-ring or something. But anyway, we called them out. They're going to come and fix that. So we don't want to make it operational until everything is safe. I mean, we could do it. It's not a big deal, but still, we don't need to. Just want to make sure it's safe. And, but everything's good to go there, once we get that done. Like I say, I've got a good price on it. I have to relook at the price, again, because that was a 2-week old price, but I was trying to make sure that we're under, a lot of the local airports that had self-serve, kind of give and keep it that way if I can, a good price for everybody. And then the tower, Mac said he would help me. That's one thing that, dealing with the FAA, the FAA, how do I put this? They like to be in charge, they do. They like to be in charge of the project. I want to make sure that I'm not being, bypassed on some of the things that I might need to know, that might hurt us in the long run or short term. So far, everything's been great. We've all been working good, and we've communicated well, and I understand what they're doing. They ask me questions, and I understand what they're saying, but it'd be good to have somebody, who lived in that world, and to help out and make sure that as they build this thing, it's really complex because you got utilities here. Okay. How far do these utilities have to go? It's on my part. The beacon, since it's on the tower now, they don't want it on the tower later. I have to put it somewhere. That's at my cost, and we're going to see if maybe we can put that beacon on the new tower. There's a lot of complexities to this that would certainly be a big help and make my life a little easier and ease of mind, actually, as we move forward to make sure that, things are going in our favor, and not just on one side, to make this thing happen, that we're all going to work together and things will, come out well for everybody. So I'm glad to have him back here in that role as well. But he, as he mentioned, he's going to talk to the FAA, and they're just simple questions. It's nothing, it's just things we'd like to know, and moving forward, and I'm happy, that, and he asked, are these good questions? I mean, he's not taking it upon himself. He's actually working with me, and that's good. That's what it's all about. We're all work together, and I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm excited about that for sure. So the tower's coming along good. We did have the reciting, and and a meeting in May. That was this past May. So, I still don't quite have a timeline, but that's something I think Matt's
Definitely one of the things on.
yeah. And I don't know if they even know the timeline,
They may.
but I know that Macon and us, we're going to be done at the same time, I think, I believe. But, and then the fencing project, I have a I have a agenda item in front of the mayor and commission that they're supposed to approve at their August meeting, for a contractor to finish kind of I think we're 220 where we put the fencing in, and also where we had fencing from when we did the runway extension way back before I got here. There's a gap right there. So we're going to close that gap in with some money that we had left over from the 220 project, runway 220. And so what's in front of the mayor commission is just an approval for structural resources to do the job. And so that's going to be done hopefully in September, October. That money runs out at the end of December, so we have to have that done, which it will. And did I hit everything?
I think so.
Yeah, and that's all I have.
We got
On
that
that.
bit on the plate there.
Yeah. We got a lot of good projects. Marketing and outreach. I did speak to the Exchange Club a couple weeks ago. That was good.
Who was that, Mike?
Exchange Club. Yeah.
What is the Exchange Club? Who's that?
They're a civic organization, and they met at it was a breakfast place. I can't remember the name of it, but they met at a breakfast place, and it was a breakfast meeting they had. And But they're very interested, you know, in the airport and what's going on. And air service development, you know, where we are with that. But yeah, it was a good meeting. We are having also a meeting, gosh, let me see, when is that? I reported it to Nikki, probably on this one. August 12th, the chamber has a lunch event that they have and periodically. And so that's going to be here at the airport on August 12th. About 60 to 70 chamber members will come and they'll give us an opportunity to speak to them about the airport. So, you know, we're always excited to, you know, get the chamber here, any economic development, anything we can do. This last thing we have is that our annual report came this week. I got that in front of you. And so, I'm happy with it. I like it. It's definitely reflects where we are at this point. And, you know, we'll continue to improve on it too. But, the annual report is also on our website. If it's not, is it on our website yet?
That's correct.
Yeah.
It's on the website. Yep.
And then we'll also, you know, let people know by Facebook, you know, that it's available. But that's all I had on my part.
Thank you. Any questions for Mike? Okay. So we're on, old business. Lexington.
It's old, does it?
It's only a reflection of how long it's been on the.
I know. You'll humor me by listening, so I keep them brief. I actually sent all of you the update just before I left to come here. There's going to be a public input session on August 1st for these projects, so that, you know, it's a box checking paper so that they can say, well, I did give the public an opportunity to provide input. And so I sent you that. It's going to be at the police station in that training room, Thursday, August the 1st, 5:30 to 7:30. And as I told you before, it's basically, you know, the projects that we pushed to have them coalesced into just that 1.5 miles where they can consolidate 3 or 4 different projects into one and focus on that rather than trying to spread this, you know, small amount of money across 20 or 10 different projects. And then the mayor and commission should vote in September. So it's taken a while. But if you're interested at all, you know, you'll see it in your inbox. It's August 1st at 5:30 in the training room. And they have the maps and all the project descriptions and everything. And it basically, as you know, as I've told you, the objective of it is to say, well, let's focus on the projects that we can combine to really increase accessibility closest to downtown and to those big developments like that Trinitas development and the access to the airport down the road one day being kept in there as an option.
Yeah.
So I'll be the good little girl and go, let you know. So, okay, that's it. Yeah.
All right, standing committee. Oh, new business, my part. I already messing things up my first day. Yeah, leadership changes and election. So, yeah, we do need to address that right now. I'm the interim chair and will be through the end of this term. We do need to select a new vice chair to do that. And I understand that we may have a volunteer.
Okay, I volunteer.
I would like to take pleasure in nominating Greg as the interim.
So we have a
vice
nomination
chair.
and a second. Any objections?
You got volunteered, but we appreciate you allowing yourself to be volunteered.
Actually, a pretty easy job.
That's the big guy, it is.
You know,
You know.
not much to it, just, you know, show up and be ready to step in, so. If there's no other discussion on that, we'll go ahead and, take a vote.
Yeah, I guess just point of clarification, we'll do it again in January to
Right.
confirm your positions for the calendar year. So this is interim, but I think it's an important step we, you
Yeah.
know,
Just,
we follow.
yeah, have people in place. Sure.
So, okay.
All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Pleasure, Mr.
For the record, you voted in the affirmative. No opposed, welcome to the vice chair position.
Thank you.
Want the acceptance speech or?
Oh, no.
You can put it on your activities.
Yes, yeah, it's certainly something to put on there, so.
So we're looking at big shoes to fill, it looks like.
But you can put it on your year-end activities report, community service, promotion,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, exactly.
check the box.
Okay, so that's taken care of. We'll go ahead and move on to the standing committee issues and updates. So, business and finance.
Yeah, this is where we have our quarterly strategic plan review. And everybody has a copy. Davin, are you, yeah, you got it showing. Can you make it full screen or, Davin, if that's the largest you can make it, that's all right. I think everybody's got a copy. Smack it.
Back of this too.
It is. This has a little more detail, I think, but you're all right. It's included in with the annual report. And so this is just where, just real briefly here for Mac and as a review, we go through these. This includes overall goals and then strategies and action plans within that support each goal. And these goals are based on what we all believe are important to accomplish for the airport, but also they complement, they tie to ACC government goals by the mayor and commission. And you'll see those highlighted in yellow on each goal, which of our goals tie to the goal in which ACC goals that complements. So to go through it, and again, I'd say if you have any questions, need any clarifications, concerns, questions on any of these as we go through, just speak up. So goal number one, enhance airport infrastructure. This basically is our capital improvement plan area. And by the way, Mike and I, Davin normally review, Mike and I just preview this before these quarterly meetings, just to go through it. So Mike and I had about a half hour yesterday. Strategy 1-1, repave and improve the runway. 220, also the taxiways and terminal aprons. And normally what we like to do here is just confirm how we're progressing basically, especially if the dates, completion target dates still seem reasonable. And I think on each of those under strategy 1-1, Mike, yesterday you felt pretty confident still about those?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, still do.
All right. Strategy 1-2 is clear obstructions, install airport perimeter fencing. Got a couple of pieces to that. That's 1-2-1, clear the ROFA. And then 1-2-2, install fencing to the full fencing phase 2 in particular. And Mike, I think you said on the second piece there, 1-2-2, you've got meeting with the mayor and commission, I guess, looking for their approval on August 6th for that.
Yes.
The fencing. Okay. And the 1-2-1's already completed, so we normally leave those on there for the record. And by the way, Mac, this strategic plan goes about another year, I believe, and then the city will redo it and we'll update it quarterly too. Strategy 1-3, increase parking capacity, build new parking lot. That used to be parking deck, but I think it's going to be a lot now, right? And still, yeah, design is the next target there that we've got by December 20th of this year. Still looks good, I believe, based on the review.
Yeah.
Strategy 1-4 is construct transient corporate hangar. First step is to design that hangar, which target is December also of this year. And then the next is initiative 141 is, I'm sorry. Well, design the hangar.
I didn't get that.
Obviously didn't get it right. So Mike, you had some comments yesterday about that, as far as the design and where you're looking at as far as placement. We may have talked about that before.
Oh, the transient?
Yeah, the transient
Transient
hangar.
Yeah, my intent is to put it where the tower is right now, the current tower. And so we won't be able to do anything until that one is removed, which the FAA plans on doing, after they build a new one. So once that's done, then we can go ahead and, probably start design on it. In the meantime, right there next to the tower is our electrical vault, which has all the workings and electrical wiring and all that stuff. Transformers that, that operate all of our lights and signs out there. And I'd like to incorporate that, instead of moving it, which is gonna be a big project, or building another, building for it, just incorporate that in the transient hangar, have it as a, just a separate room. It's not very big, what's inside of it, but it'll just be a separate room that we can, use, for our electric. And so that's something I think I'll have RSNH try to incorporate in that project as well. But yeah, so we'll have to wait on that.
So actually, where do we mention the tower in here? We don't.
He has a little, let's see, I think
It's up there.
We-
Nice.
Put it-
Yeah, I think we have a tower in here.
intentionally excludes the new tower project since the project's not largely under the Air Force control.
I can't remember where we.
We didn't officially make that one of our goals because we're not fully responsible. The
Right.
FAA is,
Did we add a note somewhere?
We did.
It's on the top of the next page.
Yeah. No, goal one
Oh,
intentional
yeah, there it
exclusion,
is.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, goal area 2, establish scheduled and increased non-scheduled passenger service, air cargo service to provide greater transportation options for our area here. First strategy there, 2.1 is to recruit. That's basically the large project about recruiting a commercial airline. Mike, I know the first initiative there is recruiting an airline. It includes attending air service conferences and having some meetings.
Right.
Completed one with American Airlines already. I think you said you don't have any other scheduled right off.
Nothing right now, no. Just continue to, communicate with the airlines, kind of on their schedule as to when they're able to, do anything. So we're just still in limbo, still waiting.
And then contingent on, since that's not 100%, we've got the initiative 2.12 about researching alternatives to traditional legacy carriers there. So that's more of an ongoing type of thing. You're working on considering all that. Initiative 2.13 is if unable to obtain a carrier, consider revising ASD strategy to focus on other hubs and all that. That would be if once we know, especially the first one. Yeah, go ahead.
I will say this, we're not waiting on the first one alone, we're
Right.
actually working on 2.13 as well.
Yeah.
So we're not just waiting, we're proactively working on everything.
So Keith, shouldn't the heading of that strategy 2.1 be 25, not 2024? If what you're looking at.
Yeah, because we've got the first, the main objective there is 2025.
Yeah,
Wanting, yeah, Mike, does that make sense?
And which one
Probably
are
at
you
this
looking at?
point.
2.12?
Yeah, up at the strategy 2.1 heading there.
Oh,
where it
gotcha,
says-
gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's.
the heading where you say December.
Yeah, that makes sense, Diane.
Okay.
And Mike, it might be worth you and I having a conversation offline just about, I've got some contacts in some of the airlines.
Oh, yeah, so that'd be good, absolutely, anything.
There might be something we can leverage there too, or
Yeah.
at least get them to talk to us.
Yeah, that'd be good.
The next one is provide enhanced charter services to increase enplanements by 50% from 3,000 to 4,500 by June. Well, that's been itself been achieved, but sub initiatives there include 2.21 is increase enplanements by 33% to 6,000 enplanements, and want to achieve that by 2025. And then the next piece here is pursue cargo handling options. Mike, you and I kind of talked about that a little bit yesterday. You were saying that charter services has really increased.
Yeah,
but you need, space. And you were gonna work with engineers before we're starting to pursue cargo options. So you want to just speak briefly about charter and about cargo, where you think?
charters have been really, really good. As you can see from our numbers, the charters have been really well this year. One thing I think we could work on, is number one, cargo. But small cargo, nothing big, where it's a lot of noise or anything, just small cargo, but we have to find a spot for them. And we really don't have anything on our airport layout plan that shows cargo. And so I'd like to get with RSNH, see what they would charge, to look over our area, probably, over in that direction. And see where a good location would be where we could put a small cargo hub. And then from that point, once we identify the area and it looks good and everything logistically looks like it's gonna work, then, this cargo operations, as a lot of they have conferences, they have, areas where you can approach them, and say, hey, we're open for business, come to Athens, So that way they know, you've got the opportunity at your airport for them. And so I think that's the direction I'm gonna go. I think pursuing cargo would be good. The other thing is this, you have the electric, EVOLs, the electric,
eVTOLs?
yeah. And, I really do think that's gonna be, that will be the future. I mean, that's what's gonna happen, really. And, it's probably all gonna work together. It's just not gonna be that alone, but having a spot, for, cargo, you got FedEx, you got UPS. I mean, UPS is heavy into looking into all that. So, I mean, if you have an opportunity there, I mean, we could approach, UPS even and say, hey, come on, look at us. So I think that's the direction I'm kind of going in with all of that. But I got to get ours and actually look at our property, because we don't have a lot of property. Everybody's trying to squeeze in, on what we do have, and we need it. We need all that property. So I think that's what I'm going to do at first. But yes, that's what we talked about.
So with the EV stuff, we got that as a note in here, and I guess, let's leave it that way.
So
That's a lot.
is that date so correct where it says by June 2021? In the heading for strategy 2.2. You talk about employments increasing 50% from 3,000 to 4,500 by June 2021, then go
Well,
further.
We did achieve it.
Okay.
That's where we achieved.
Okay, so then that's correct.
Yes, so that's the achieved one. That
All right,
has an achievement
Just
next to the strategy instead of
Yeah.
particular initiative.
okay.
All right, goal 3 is, expand the general aviation experience to better serve customers, increase revenue, help ensure airport's future. Strategy 3.1 is identify and enhance facilities, products, services to retain or increase our customer base. To increase annual operations to 50,000. Where are we at now, Mike, roughly with operations?
Operations, what were we? 38, almost 38,000.
Okay. So the first initiative is begin operation of self-service gas. That's basically complete. There was one thing I think, Mike, you said there's got a little
Yep.
tweak you gotta do there with an O-ring or something. It's gotta be changed, but it's basically set up. Then 3.1.2 is prepare and issue an RFI for a destination restaurant. That's totally pending commercial service, so.
Okay.
3, and if y'all feel there's something else, and again, as we go through this, or at any point you feel like there's something else we need to be seriously considering that supports the strategy in addition to initiatives we have, we should discuss it. So, strategy 3.2 is assess and study space at our airport with initiative 3.2.1, design and build hangars. Hangars to meet, pilot hangars to meet demand. And so our goal there is to design this year and then build in 2025. Like I think yesterday you said, you're working with RSNH to
Yeah.
design hangars. As you're looking at that east area, we call it,
Mm-hmm.
what do you call
Yeah, there's an old hangar, the G hangars over here on this side that, two doors fell off. You got the one.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the round one?
No, not
No.
that one, no.
Are you gonna take that one down?
Yeah,
Eventually.
yeah, that's gotta come down, yeah, eventually, yeah. But yeah, so what I wanna do with the G hangars is, it's just really old and the metal in there is rusting. And so what I wanna do, I wanna have RSNH, when I build T hangars, I wanna put it there, I wanna tear those down. There's only 4 of them there, and then extend maybe 10, probably 10. I'd like to do 12, but I think I'd only do 10, in that direction out there. And then I think I've already seen a design somewhere where that area is designed with more T hangars and some standalone hangars also, as well. But anyway, so I have RSNH. But you know, I say RSNH so much, I have to prioritize where I use them because they only have so many people. So I got them doing Bravo, I got them doing parking lots. They're working on Alpha with me. And so, the next, I think I can do T hangars next and then the transient hangar after that. They can probably do both of those together maybe, but anyway, so yeah, they can't do all this at one time. So, I gotta kind of prioritize. That is in there what I want to do with that. And I want to do it sooner than it's pretty bad.
Goal 4, inform and connect with community, businesses, and customers to provide a greater understanding of the airport's role with the community and to build goodwill. Strategy 4.1, or overall strategy here, is implement strategies for marketing, community outreach, and engagement. That includes the first one being that we publish the annual report each year. And I think, Mike, for this next one, for the 2025 report, you were thinking probably of May as a target again for that,
Yeah.
the 2025 report.
Yeah.
4.12 is develop a content management plan for quarterly newsletters, social media engagement, which kind of ties to the next one. 4.13 is pursue local partnerships with economic development agencies and business leaders. Mike, I think I don't know, you were going to maybe give us an update here about increased communication to tenants and stakeholders, what you're doing here on the grounds, and anything else that ties to those two.
Yeah, so I send out regular emails as far as communication to the tenants with the Taxi Alpha project. Mostly right now, anyway. And let them know, when we close the runways, we have changes, safety or security or something. So I think 2 weeks ago, I sent out an email. I'll send one out this week too, to let them know about Monday, and we're shutting down that runway. So I'm sending out regular emails. I need to give them a good update, on everything else that's going on with Bravo and probably parking lot and things like that. And then also, we do, Davin puts closures and things like that on our website, so everybody knows. Facebook too. And then I boost that, on Facebook as well. I know GDOT and FAA get it, my Facebook. So yeah, we're doing what we can on that front.
So I guess your Chamber of Commerce meeting here in August kind of ties to the one where you get to present.
Yeah,
It'll be here in August, and
yeah.
that's the 4.13 as an effort there. But
What was the
Yeah.
name of that new initiative out of ACC? Was it out of the mayor's office where everybody was supposed to send in updates on what they were doing and everything? It's got some
Yeah.
name, I can't
Yeah,
remember.
it did. I can't remember the name, but yeah.
Yeah.
We do. We send in, whatever changes or, attaboys come about, we'll send it in, let them know
Yeah.
what's going on, like the school.
Yeah, it's got some name.
It does.
Yeah.
It
I
does,
can't
yeah.
remember what it is.
how often is that? Monthly? Is that like a monthly?
Yeah, I think we do it monthly. Yeah. I haven't updated it.
Yeah.
I have to look. It's probably time to update it, actually.
Next, 4.14, promote the airport's community engagement. by things like, that we talked about hosting airport/aviation events, establishing a program of non-aviation public events held at the airport, establishing multi-use trail around the airport, and a micro park at the airport, and also pursuing aviation training educational partnerships. Maybe I'll start at the bottom and go up there. I know, Mike, Davin, y'all may have, but we've talked a lot in the last meeting about, the schools, coming on, the grounds for the airport for field trips. It's been a huge success. Like you were telling me, yesterday, he may try to start focusing on some, high schools,
Yeah.
not just field trips, but working with them on, training opportunities.
Yeah, if you all remember, he'd been on the board for a little while, we were working with the technical college, and trying to get them
Yeah,
involved. And that was good, but it was gonna cost a lot of money, because we did that in Floyd County. We actually built a technical school and an AMP, and it was a lot of money. But, a lot of the communities, they go through the high schools, and there's curriculum already written, state, education,
For aviation related.
aviation, yeah, or not, yep. And so we did approach the superintendent of the Board of Education prior to COVID was. And then COVID came. We were kind of rolling pretty good with it. And then COVID came. And then after COVID and the pandemic, we reached out again to the superintendent and said it's just a little too early, still to do anything. And so, now I think we're good. And so I was telling Keith, yesterday, it's probably a good time now to reach back out to the superintendent, board of education, or somebody, and say, hey, we'd like to help you, maybe kick something off with the high schools. And maybe get some of that curriculum in, maybe to help, for folks to come when they tour, they can kind of see it, and see what it's all about, not just in the classroom, but, out here too.
Does Athens-Clarke County have any kind of STEM curriculum that students can?
We talked about that with aviation, but I don't know now. I don't know if they.
I think that the other thing to do is to contact the curriculum director. Because I think they do, and it's at certain levels and in certain ways, but, I think we really should.
ROTC or something like Air Force ROTC, a lot of the high schools have them.
Yeah, they all do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do have ROTC because they have come out and.
they came when all those Black
On
Hawks.
the helicopters, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, the superintendent first, but then the curriculum director
Okay.
is the person to, and I do think, I'm happy to help on that as well,
Yeah.
given
Oh, yeah.
the background. we're
Absolutely,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
it's really long overdue, it's
It
been a rocky road, any kind of partnership with the University of Georgia or with anybody in town and the school system,
Yeah,
so
yeah. I think that's.
maybe
that's good.
like a preliminary meeting or something,
Mhm. Yeah,
with a view to the new
I'll set
academic
that
year.
up. And, I'll make some calls.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
So, continuing backwards here just for a second, establishing a multi-use trail around the airport, Michael said yesterday, that was not gonna be included in the next round of T-Splosh, so.
Yeah, I tried to put it in T-Splosh last time and I
Yeah.
just didn't bite on that. And now I have a fence up. Because it was kind of in conjunction with the fence project, to
Yeah.
do that. So I probably wouldn't put that in again.
Yeah.
If somebody wants to do that, with the Rex, Parker Rex or something, they can do that.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that because actually, in all honesty, you've got the trail and the micro park. I think in honesty, things have moved beyond that for you now. You've got the new parking lot
Yeah,
under design, you've got the tower going up. You've got a bench or two out there, as we know, but they can be moved.
yeah,
And, we put in a lot of investment and time several years ago, but things have moved beyond the
yeah,
micro park and the trail. And so I'm saying that, unless you've got a notion, you've talked some about that area near Satterfield Park,
I'd love to do something.
where you could say, well, that's where potentially you could have a little park.
Right, in the playground, aviation related
Yeah.
playground.
If that's not the case, I think those should come out because they sit there and they wink at us every time we do an
Yeah.
update.
Yeah.
And that's just not really appropriate reporting. If we really, in honesty, are not ever going to do it, it needs to come out.
And you went with me,
Yeah,
to Greenville and
Yeah.
you saw the restaurant they had there
yeah,
and
in the park.
the playground park there. It was just a beautiful thing, but that would really work well over there
Yeah.
on that side because you have such a good advantage and good view of the airport.
Yeah,
The whole airport. And you could have a nice restaurant there and you could have a nice playground for kids, and in that area. I mean, I like the idea. It's just a matter of funding it, and somebody wanting to build a restaurant there. But
yeah. Well, I think, I mean, we'd been always talking about that little area as the quote micro park.
right.
It might be, even if you just change a couple of the words in the next version of this about selecting an alternative site or a new site and keep it going.
Well, that's something, again, RSNAs,
Yeah,
they could do. They could plot something out there and say,
Yeah.
and tie it into Satterfield.
yeah,
The parking, sure, this will be at Satterfield. And then,
Yeah.
they can just walk on to that.
So we
you
want
could
to
take out the fencing or the
trail
because that is dead.
That's.
and replace Micro Park with, Micro Park at the Satterfield.
Or at a,
Potential future.
yeah. I mean, I just think then it's honest
Yeah,
about what
yeah.
you really are
Yeah.
talking about
Things
doing.
change, like you say, things change.
Yeah. Well, things have moved on.
Yeah.
At the time we put in all that work, you weren't talking about the FAA wanting to put a new tower in.
Right.
And then there was the whole issue with the parking garage versus
Yeah.
a parking lot.
Yeah.
I'm just being realistic.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good change. Yeah.
Yeah, you can move Rick Napier's bench, somewhere else and the picnic table and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah, yeah.
they're movable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Make it nice anywhere.
And I think that's dead. I mean, that is going to be a construction lot, the whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is a better location, actually.
It's nice. It would be a better location because you can really see.
Yeah,
That's why people come to an airport to see airplanes and
Yeah.
takeoff planes.
Yeah.
So that's an ideal place down there. Here you got a lot of trees, buildings. You can't see.
Yeah.
them.
and you've got other people eyeing that, like that guy Drew Decorp,
Yeah.
who spoke to Commissioner Carroll, you remember I told you about?
Yeah.
He was eyeing that, saying, why can't you build hangars there? So they're eyeing these sort of open places on
Yeah.
your property, saying,
Yeah.
But that would be and that would actually tie it into Southeast Clarke Park.
Yeah.
And the corridor and everything would
Mhm.
actually be a better argument to
It
make.
would be.
Yeah,
Be a whole lot better.
yeah.
And honestly, it's so big out there, we could actually build some hangars.
Where are we talking?
Kind of between Lowe's and 220.
Yeah,
Okay.
That whole strip
Oh,
right up there, yeah.
Right there where it shows the ball field.
Yeah.
And the baseball fields.
yeah. And that was in the original design for a trail around the airport,
Yeah,
so some things have dropped off, but that doesn't have to drop.
Are those trees there between, say, the baseball field and the
there are.
forest?
Yeah.
Small-
That's where the park would be and maybe a restaurant even.
Yeah,
Overlook Park and.
Yeah.
yeah, undeveloped,
Yeah.
but it's part of his property,
Right.
you know?
Oh, that is part of the airport
That's
property there.
ours.
So that,
Yeah,
All the
That's
tree there?
the tree line.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, we could build hangars there. We could tie into the 220.
and it's next to that, what is that? Is that skate around, that skating rink or is
Yeah.
it a bowling alley?
It's skating rink right there behind Lowe's.
Next to Lowe's,
Yeah, the little white building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
yeah, and it's near the corridor.
It's on Saturdays.
Really?
Just saying.
Skate. Yeah, camera balance.
I can't.
Just need pizza. Okay, so we'll make that change. to
Yeah, I
that.
think that's a more accurate rendition of what's really happening now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good too.
So the next couple there back above, I think on one of them, Mike, I had a note that you and Diane were gonna meet regarding
Yeah.
some of the airport
Program of
events.
non-aviation public events
Yeah.
to be held at. the
Y'all were gonna get together, y'all wanna,
We need to pick up on that.
Yeah.
do that?
And we do,
Okay.
like you and I discussed yesterday, And as Craig knows, we need to get Alpha done. I need to get that done before we do any events. But
Yeah.
still, that doesn't mean we can't meet
Yeah.
because that's gonna be done at least by September. So, we could start meeting now and plan for something in this next spring.
Sounds
Like a
good.
fly-in
Yeah,
or
you always
something.
need lead time.
Yeah.
What happened to that guy that was looking to see whether he could also set up something here, the one who was doing something in Gwinnett Airport? He was talking about an FBO and, and you said he was interested also in Athens, set up restaurant and all kinds of
Oh,
things.
yeah. He just fizzled out. Yeah.
Yeah. They do, don't
They
they?
do. 9 times out of 10, that's what happens. And really it is. Yeah. But,
Okay,
we can certainly have, we can certainly have a good air show. Not big air show, that, but here.
So, y'all are gonna get together on that.
yeah, Mike, let's pick the ball up again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Right. Let's see, goal 5 is achieve and maintain financial self-sufficiency. Basically meeting or exceeding your budgets on the positive side, to provide relief for taxpayers and guarantee growth of the airport. Strategy 5.1 is basically, maintaining that revenue neutral status where we're contributing more, the airport's contributing more than taking. Now this is based on kind of a cash flow, so it excludes capital project money. So anyway, I think on all those kind of self-explanatory, this is an ongoing goal. We review the financials each month. Mike, you have anything, else on there? I had a note on the first 2 there about Chad Copeland actually, you and I talked about that yesterday. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That on the rates and fees and also fuel prices and with rates and fees that has to do with rents on hangars and so forth. Chad was doing some studies.
Yeah, I think he's a fellow at another airport who was doing his own study and said he'd
Okay.
share it with us, but haven't seen it yet. But our rates and fees are very competitive. We've called different airports around and done our own, looking, making sure everything was, fair, consistent with other airports, although, as I mentioned, we're not the cheapest, but we're not the most expensive. You go to Signature or something, you're gonna pay a lot more, for a rent fee and whatnot and handling. But, these rates and fees, when I got here, I raised them up. And so, that's helped us a lot in our financials. And every year we do go up, we do talk to other actually SEC airports sometimes, and say, what do you guys charge now? And we want to be consistent. We don't want to be, we want to be fair, with our prices. But we have to make money because, we are an enterprise fund. So I feel confident in our rates and fees. They are approved by the Mayor Commission every year, at the budget time. And we do go up on like landing fees. Sometimes we'll go up, and the ramp fees. I did go up on the handling fees because I felt like we were just a little low on handling after talking to some of the other airports. So we did go up on that. Our T hangers automatically go up with the consumer price index. And so we adjust that every year, regardless. So, I feel good about our rates and fees and as it reflects in our financials.
Do you think, you feel like our revenues are such that we're able to accomplish the goals that we've kind of laid out?
I think so. Yeah, I really do. And that's one thing I guess I was telling Keith, maybe it was Davin, that I'm very thankful that, that we have a good, I guess, a good balance right now. We're making money. A lot of airports, I can tell you, a lot of airports aren't making money. Most of the airports aren't making money. Your PDKs are making money, but there's a lot of airports, majority of them aren't making money in this state. And, I'm just thankful that, we're able to do that. Feel blessed that we are. I think so.
And then the last one, the last goal is number 6. This one, I think we added in to strictly to complement one of the Athens-Clarke County goals for all departments, and that's create an employee development culture to improve all employees' existing competency, skills, increase safety, customer service. The strategy there overall, Mike, is identify areas of need and improvement, critical to operate safely and efficiency. So a lot of focus is on the couple of initiatives there, just meet and follow FAA required standards and training, develop additional training for employees based on safety and customer needs. So you always have a lot of things that have been going on in regard to that. Like you had the inspection.
Yeah, the FAA inspection.
And recently, right? Yeah.
Got DOD inspection coming up. We have a GDOT forum that's coming up Thursday in Thomaston, Georgia, with GDOT, FAA, and all the airport, GA airport. Well, even I think Part 139 airport managers will be there. And that'll be pretty much all that thing. But I've got Davin going and I got Russ going. So, talking about, learning. There'll be a lot, to learn there as well that they'll break up.
So just with this one, Mike, on the, as far as overall your staff and the culture with as far as competencies and skills, how would you kind of rate it? Would you say, what were you feel that you got from your staff?
I think, that's one of the things I get,
I'll talk to you afterwards.
marked on, at the end of the year on my evaluation is, the staff, and are they, are they in a position to learn? Are you putting them in a position to learn? But, we have, our associations like Georgia Air Force Association or the, General Aviation, Association that we have, Russ is going to one of those. I think Davin's going. Well, Davin is now on the board, and then I'll go to both of them as well. There's a few things that I'll go to, nationally, and I'd like for Russ also to go some nationally that kind of relate to the operations of the airport. One's a general aviation convention that's in Washington. I was just looking at that today, so that's something I'll think about, for Russ. But Russ has already been through several airport safety operations school with our national organization, and they have an advanced one too, which he took. And so there's plenty of opportunities through those organizations to learn.
You feel your staff overall, you feel good about staff?
Yeah, I do. I think that's an important part of it, Otherwise you're just stagnant, getting out to these things like this Thursday with Russ and Davin, just talking to airport managers and FAA and GDOT, folks, and
Good for them.
yeah, like we had something that came up. Can't remember what it was, and I told Russ, I said, call them up. I think it was the FBO and that handles Alabama, and I said, call them up, just ask them a question, and I think he was kind of hesitant at first, not knowing, like I might be bothering them. Well, no, they want to hear from you, and you want to hear from them, because we all want to learn from each other. And so once you get that dialogue going, it's like, yeah, you can talk forever then, about this and that, or so many things, you do it this way, you do it this way, we do it this way. And that's real important too.
So do you have to pay for that, for their travel and everything out of your own budget, or what does ACC pick that up?
No, it's all us. Yeah, we're all independent.
Yeah,
We have our own travel budget
yeah.
and whatnot. It's usually, the travel budget's usually for me. Davin's, tapped into it, and Russell tapped into it, because all this is important that everybody learns something somewhere. And so, it's possible I might have to increase that travel budget a little bit, but I haven't had to, in the past. It's all kind of working. Prior to COVID, I was going nationally to a lot of the conferences, and then I kind of stopped because, just nobody was going anywhere. But I think it's important to get out, meet everybody.
Very
All right.
good.
Since the review this time.
I was just thinking,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
thinking back to the, was it 1.2.1 and 1.2.3? It seems like those could be combined to kind of, reduce some of the clutter that was in those tabs.
These right here, you're talking about, 121, here, Rofa.
Oh, no, maybe it's 2.1. Was it? Yeah, I'm sorry, it was 2.1.1 and 2.1.3.
Okay.
Seems like those really, we don't care who it is or where they go, right?
No, the main thing is just having
Yeah,
it
so
documented
they're basically
and
the
clear,
same.
so,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basically the same.
Yeah, I got
But
you.
different locations.
Yeah,
So it seems
okay.
like we could combine them.
Yeah.
okay. All right, sounds good, we'll do that. Hey, David?
Yes.
I'll probably see, let me, do some editing. I know we've had a lot of stuff on this, so let me do an editing to a copy I've got, send it to you before you do the, revised from maybe your own notes from this. That's all right with you.
Just a reminder though, we have printed this in our annual report. So, I would almost say that unless a change is really necessary, I'm not sure
but
that
it
we
goes
should
into
make
the
too
next
many
one.
changes to it.
Well, the annual report was 2023.
Yeah, this is for next.
Yeah, this is for next time. And plus, what we need to do is whatever we change in here, we need to go into the Athens-Clarke County. What is that called again?
Clear point.
ClearPoint. We need to
Yeah.
go into ClearPoint and make these changes into ClearPoint so that everything's updated,
Yeah,
so it's an ongoing thing, all the time.
yeah.
It's a working copy all the time. So the annual report, yeah, that's 2023 stuff. We know we can't change it there, but as far as, yeah, because what we want to do is make sure that the mayor and commission, when they go into that, ClearPoint, that they
Yeah.
see the updates and everything's current.
Yeah.
And so I'm just saying that there are no major changes. I mean, I don't think we're substantially changing anything,
No.
by doing this, I mean,
No.
I'm not saying we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that I don't know if it really substantially changes anything.
Yeah, I don't
Just
think,
wording.
yeah, I mean,
Formatting.
Just cleaning it up.
yeah, because sometimes we've changed dates and things like that, which we need to be able to do, or which would kind of be like this one. So it's a good point, David. We may, we've had changes in the past. And I think like Mike says, it makes sense that we, could edit our copy and leave the annual report as it is, but
Yeah.
I'll send it to you. If you have any questions or need to, talk, let's just reach out.
Sounds good.
Okay.
No actions required at this point for the forms. Okay. Operating,
The only thing I would say about operating is we don't have it on the agenda, but the planning recommendation.
I talked with David yesterday
Yeah, so you did.
about the proposed, housing development, and you have seen nothing wrong with it. So as long as they follow the typical guidelines for something in that proximity to the airport, then there's no reason why everybody negative set.
And I talked to them yesterday and they told me that, just to update you all, that they will not have any, that the roofing will be shingles, won't be metal. And the lighting that they have will be shined down. Shone down. It's a shine or shine. She always corrects me stuff.
nice, friendly.
Yeah. And, but anyway, so all of that will be taken care of.
Mhm. I'm always curious with them. I'd love to ask them, what's the anticipated occupancy rate? Because the number of units they're putting up in all these different developments,
We had one that was just opened a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And they are almost filled out.
are they?
Wow.
Well, maybe it's deceptive, like that Trinitas one, which is so huge.
I'm curious what price point they're trying to.
It still looks half empty.
Affordable.
I think this was supposed to be like the 60% of the median income or something like that, or something like that for this.
Yeah, the one
You
you're
mentioned it.
talking about?
Oh, the one over here.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one that's by my house is not.
it's just,
Like a 3-bedroom apartment over there is like $2,500.
Wow.
It's like it had mortgages less than that.
I mean, the ones in town, I think they're like $1,500 a bedroom.
Yeah, well, they cater to the students, yeah, so
It's crazy.
it's just interesting because I remember that corridor
Yeah.
study and one of the things that came out of it was, there were not enough rooftops and bedrooms along the corridor and on this side of town, and that's what they're all catering to.
Yeah,
There's building up the inventory of rooftops as
this
they
will be
call
like the
it.
second or third one they built over on the side.
Yeah, yeah,
Plus, right, single family housing, rental housing that they built.
yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so then do we need to?
yeah, so we need a motion, to approve. It's, well, it's 1825, 1885, 1889 Lexington Road project.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, those in favor?
Alright.
Any opposed? No opposed? Okay.
So you're gonna send that to them and then it goes to the planning,
Yeah, so Devin drafted
commission.
the letter to planning, and then they'll send it to the planning commission and then for the mayor.
Yeah.
And we don't approve or reject, we just.
We just sort of treat it.
Right, suggestion, it's a recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah,
And, no other business there. Air service development, marketing.
Nothing on that front. You have any?
no, I mean, if, that committee is sort of in waiting, isn't it? If it was a volcano, you'd call it dormant,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
We can't do anything until one day, you're able to have meetings with American or something has changed, so,
And we are actively pursuing.
yeah,
It's not like we're just
Yeah.
standing by waiting for somebody knocking our door.
yeah.
Speaking of that, I know we're doing the parking lot as part of air service development because they want more parking. Is there like a number of spaces they look for, or what is the metric?
I haven't heard of that, but I'm thinking they're flying, some of these are flying like, A320s.
A lot of CRJs.
Yeah,
More
yeah.
like-
Yeah, and they're gonna be like 70 seaters. So if you have, I don't know, you have like two flights a day in and out, 4 flights in and out, I guess. I don't know how you would calculate that. You need 200 spaces, 300 spaces, I don't know. Maybe RSNH can figure that out for us too.
So are you gonna keep allowing Hertz to use as much of that?
Yes, I asked them the other day to give me a list of the cars that they have based here.
Mm-hmm,
And I haven't gotten it yet. I may have to just knock on his door again. But I definitely need to get that.
yeah. Because it looks like they use the whole lot.
I use a lot.
At
They use a lot.
times.
Yeah. Yeah.
I noticed the trucks here unloading cars.
Yes, yep.
Is that Hertz that's unloading cars? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's hers, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they pick them up and they drop them off. And yeah, this is their headquarters. But things have got to change,
Yeah.
they will.
They use it like a staging area for other locations.
Well, this is the location.
Yeah,
I used to know they
Location for Athens?
Yeah,
yeah.
didn't really rent that many cars here.
they rent a lot of cars, yeah.
And they wash them all here too.
But that,
They wash them all here and they
Yeah,
take up the parking lot with their washing equipment.
yeah.
Yeah,
And that was done prior to me too, which I
Yeah.
have to address, but yeah, it's not just airport business, but it's like, everybody, like if they wreck their car, insurance will pay for that. They
That makes sense.
Yeah, but this just hurts. There's, others in town too.
but it's like the park issue we were talking about.
Yeah,
Kind of,
Yeah.
things have moved beyond what the
Yep.
status quo was
yeah.
for them.
Do they have like an ongoing contract? How long is their
They
contract?
have a contract. It's an old contract that Davin and I are revamping right now. It's taking us some time because we're talking to other airports or IMs about what they do and how they handle that kind of thing. You can go to a whole seminar on just rental cars,
Yeah, oh, yeah. I've heard. Rental cars,
Fun.
vendors.
Yeah, all that
Buying
stuff,
options.
yeah. So I wanna get all we can, but I want it to be fair, and
Yeah.
consistent with other airports, so I'm working on that.
Okay. All right, there's nothing else there. We'll move on to the other business, which is the airport fact sheet.
Oh, would have one, since we had the strategic plan, I was planning not to really have it, say,
Okay.
Dab and I still will have to get together. So Dab, I'll be working with you before the next meeting, like we'd kind of planned before.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And Keith, I'll help if you.
Yeah.
Something I can do.
Sounds good. Okay.
Oh, can I say one thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
One last thing. Devin, has been doing so well, with the school system. I should have mentioned this earlier. That he spent a lot of time and, you know, a lot of our employees too, you know, that have taken him around tours and stuff. But we got a letter from this gentleman, Samuel A. Nash, that actually went to Grant, and but it's addressed to chairman. You know, you should have gotten it really, but if you don't mind, I'll read it.
Sure.
It says, Mr. Tribble, this summer, the Athens Boys and Girls Club sponsored a several week-long instructional program for future career paths for Athens area youth. I was asked to handle a sequence of events for aerospace-related careers. I approached Mr. Davin Welfare at the airport to ask for his help in allowing me to bring the students to the airport and perhaps give them a small tour and briefing. He was great. He helped us with a room to use and as a base in the terminal, took the kids to the fire department, helped me with the control tower tour, and ensured things went smoothly while we had the kids at the airport. I want to take a moment and let you know what a great job he did representing the airport, helping his kids out.
It's nice.
That was a nice one, yeah.
So Davin's got a copy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll make sure he gets a copy.
Yeah.
Davin, that's great. I mean,
That's
somebody
great.
take time to write a letter
Yeah.
like that. They
Put that in his
press.
file for
Yeah.
end of year evaluation.
Exactly, yeah.
But see, we really need to, even if we've got to do it for the new academic year coming, we really need to set up something where the next groups that come out, we can
Yeah,
get a newspaper article, get permissions for photographs,
yeah,
you know, because you can't take pictures of the kids without permission,
true.
you know, but I mean, I
Pictures of
just,
the feet.
maybe the distance, you know,
Yeah.
from behind.
Most of the, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, that's really nice. I'm glad for Davin, and I just
Yeah.
think we need to, this is a good time because, you know, the school year's a month or two can begin, you know, we've got time to do something.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's good. Good for Davin.
yeah.
Good job, Davin.
Thank
Nice.
you. Thank you.
Is there any other business anybody wants to bring before us? Okay, our next meeting will be Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. And with no other, stuff on the agenda, we go ahead and take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Mhm.
No one's opposed? We'll adjourn, stand adjourned.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate everybody.
The only two that you probably might have typically find